First off, as a man, you need to be having the best sex of your life because this is going to directly affect how you show up in the boardroom and how you show up in every single aspect of your life. But literally 95% of men get sex wrong. And in this video, you're going to find the 3 things that are going to help you absolutely transcend your sex life. From now, you can literally implement it in your next encounter. But it's important for us to go into why men get sex wrong. But first, if you look at the statistics, the average European male sex time, the duration of sex in total, is 12 minutes. It takes a woman on average 30 to 45 minutes to even get warmed up before she can even get into sex in the first place. So as a man, if you're someone who is anywhere between the range of 0 to 30 minutes in your sexual practice, already you are off the game because the woman takes a lot longer to warm up. But understanding and being able to deepen your sexual connection will change how you show up for life because the woman is a representation of the entire universe. So the way you engage with a woman dictates your entire calibration in every aspect of your life. When I started my own journey to get to this point, I had very deep layers of sexual programming, a very interesting sexual history, and a slew of women I had been with. But for some reason, my ability to really connect deeply on a sexual level with a woman was just not where it had to be. With these 3 rules and these 3 principles that I learned on my journey through all the things I've invested in, I was able to really deepen how I showed up with a woman. And by implementing them, you're going to become one of those 2% of men who are really just standing away from the pack. The interesting thing for me came when I started doing this and I realized how it changed how I manifested. I realized how deeply connected it was to energetic core spiritual principles in my ability to find purpose, fulfillment, and real connection into myself in life. So once you start practicing these, it's going to translate into how you penetrate life. So that said, let's get into the 3 rules. These rules are simple. You can implement them immediately. And it's in the simplicity that you will see the actual magic. A lot of people, when we think about sexual manifestation, sexual energy, how to work with these very deep life force, they overcomplicate things. At the core of this work is that your sexuality is a direct representation of how your life force moves through your body and penetrates into the world. So that's really what we're learning here. The first principle that you want to use today, now, to change everything is the principle of no goals. That's rule number 1. What do I mean by no goals? When the average man is having sex, when the average man is approaching engaging with a woman, you go with this sense of direction that you want to conquer a woman, or typically you want to get something, right? You want to get her to see some part of yourself. You want to get her to please you and give you some level of pleasure. When you're doing this, you're using a woman in a transactional manner. This is almost masturbating with a woman's body. With the principle of no goals is directly linked to even removing your orgasm from the sexual encounter. When you have no goals in a sexual encounter, you don't have the goal to orgasm, you don't have the goal to even sleep with a woman in the first place. What happens is your body, your mind naturally goes into a state of discovery, especially when you remove the orgasm. Because when you remove the orgasm, there is no space to go. There's nowhere to go. What that leaves you with is presence. Is a core presence to sense, to connect, and to prolong your discovery with this woman in front of you. Why is that important? When you prolong your discovery with the woman in front of you, then every single thrust that you have becomes a discovery of a new layer of her. And what men don't realize is that the one thing a woman really wants from a man is your presence. Can you be the man who stands, who witnesses her, and who is there in his deep consciousness? If you have a goal during sex to get anything done, to get an ejaculation, anything, you're out of presence because your mind is thinking. But as soon as you remove that goal, you're back in presence. Let's look at an example for this. Say you are giving a woman a massage and you know it's going to become a sexual massage. When you're in the process of giving her that massage, even though it's sexual, if you have a goal, you would rush the process of discovering her and you will be going and targeting straight for that goal of sex with her. She's going to feel that energy. She's going to feel that your heart is not really there to penetrate her open. She's going to feel that you're using her for an outcome. And if you've ever been in this situation, I know I definitely have, that woman, she's going to have this underlying detest for where you're going. She's going to feel like you're rushing her forward. She's not going to open up fully into you to give you all of the energy that you deep down, your core masculine, is really seeking. But if you remove that goal of the orgasm, if you remove that goal of sex, what happens? You spend a lot of time working with the woman, connecting, getting really deep into intimacy. And what happens as a result of that? She opens up beautifully. And now you can go have the sex. And in fact, the sex naturally comes. It naturally attracts itself to you. It naturally happens, even though you had no mind of doing that. The way this translates into your business is that every single person you're going to deal with, every man, every business partner, every client, they have an internal feminine. And that internal feminine is asking you at every single moment of interaction, are you present to fully witness them? And when you're rushing through a business transaction, they don't feel your presence. They inherently don't feel safe. They feel like that woman who's getting a massage, knowing that the massage was a trick that you put there just to get her into bed and just to have sex with her, right? It's transactional. There's a hint of disgust in the engagement. When you remove the goal in the bedroom, the way it translates into the boardroom is you also remove your goal. That puts you in your centered presence in negotiations, in how you create products, in whatever you do for your client, and they can feel you there for them. Once they can feel you there for them, their internal feminine would open up. That is what leads them to the emotional safety to reveal more to you than you would have normally known. If you really want to be in your power, take off goals. The second thing that's going to change your sex life today is to switch from what can I get in the sexual interaction to how can I serve? You see, as a man, as a driven man, as someone who wants to project into the world and be successful, the thing that's going to move you forward is your level of service. And when you're with your woman, if you go with the direction of how can I serve this woman? How can I help her open up? What you're going to do is you're going to bring your presence, but you're naturally going to tap into your deep masculine presence and being to hold space for her. Does she need a massage? Does she need something that's going to open up? Does she just need someone to hold her hair and just make her feel held? The feminine needs to be held. The feminine needs presence. If you're rushing that process and you're trying to get her to do something, then you're not opening her up. But if you instead switch to serving her, you naturally open her up. And what's going to happen is that this woman is going to start giving you her very deep gifts. Gifts you did not even know you needed. Deep senses of connection and intimacy that you did not know you needed. That's going to be incredibly healing for you, and that's going to activate even more of your masculinity. So switch into being all about her. When you go meet your partner later on today, all about her. What does she need? How does she need to be opened up? Get in touch with the sensitivity and feel. How can I give her what she wants without her asking? Can you do that? That is what it means to serve. And the way this would look might be as simple as getting her water in the middle of the sexual experience because you know that she needs some level of service. It might literally be something as simple as that. What a woman needs to open up fully for you is to know that as a man, you have taken care of everything. Where the pillar is going to be, whatever protection you're going to use, the water, the temperature, everything. And when you take on that challenge as a man of holding that kind of space, you naturally tap into more of your masculine and you open the feminine up. The way this translates into the boardroom, into business, is if you can serve everyone on the table and open them up with your own projection of masculine authority, people naturally feel safe around you. They're going to open up energetically and give you more things than you never knew was possible. And in that process, you are going to get way more than you even wanted simply because you genuinely served without goals. The third thing, and this is going to be a little bit of a combination, you want to slow down and embody your feminine. This is a hybrid. The slow down piece, whatever pace you go at in the bedroom, literally, there are many women you can ask about this. Whatever pace you go at in the bedroom, slow down by 50%. Because you have a goal, because you want to get, you are rushing. When you remove the goal, when you switch into service, and when you stay present to slow down, what happens is each thrust becomes a new discovery of a new layer of that woman. And if you do these three things, I promise you, your entire sex life is going to change. Women are going to look at you, and it's happened to me severally, saying this was the best they've ever had in their life. And they're going to keep calling you months and weeks or whatever after that. And if you have a partner, a committed partner, which amazing if you do, you're going to find that your level of intimacy with that woman will deepen. Slow down. 20% of your current pace even if you can. But on top of that, and this is a very powerful one, so pay attention here, is embody your feminine. One of the reasons why most women are not safe around men is because men have not embodied and opened up into their own feminine nature. This might look like playing little games in the bedroom. It might look like you being the most dominant man, exploring some levels of submission. It might look like you just entering that feminine landscape of you even allowing the woman to lead in the bedroom. Why is this important? Because it creates polarity. When you go into your feminine for 20% of the time, the woman would have to step into a masculine for another 20% of time. That will strengthen her masculine understanding, strengthen your feminine understanding, and will create a new doorway of polarity that allows both of you to come together like that. because polarity is the attraction. And if you don't embody your feminine and you don't start opening into this feminine energy and flow within you because you're a rigid, strong man, you're going to lose the opportunity to really go deep, because her external feminine needs to feel safety in your internal feminine construct. And the only way she can feel safe in that is when you are safe in stepping into that internal feminine inside of you. This is a game changer. If you combine all of these three things and the fourth one of the feminine, I promise you, your entire sex life would absolutely change. I've traveled all over the world, had many different experiences, gone to different retreats to learn a lot of this stuff. And these three rules, absolute game changer. There are other levels to go deeper into this, because I promise you, as a man, one of the biggest things you will do is to activate your sexual potential. There are many layers. If you want to go deeper, click on the links below. There are all of my programs and different things that you can play with there. And also, if you want to go into sexual deconditioning, which would allow that energy to finally start flowing through your body, then there's going to be a video on that which you can check out. For now, these three things, go explore them and absolutely knock her socks off and embody your strong, defined masculine in the bedroom and in the boardroom. Done.